Hi, Scott Lackman, 4510 TV. Today, viewers, for our episode, I wanted to catch up and talk about a conversation and a subject that we're still maybe not talking enough about, and that's the subject of domestic and family violence. With me today, Jackie Lackman is my wife, but viewers might remember about 3 years ago we sat down at the Hub Cafe and we discussed about the work that Jackie was doing in Queensland refuges and at the frontline services of the DV sector. But today Jackie stands here as the CEO of Australia's CEO Challenge. How you going, Jack?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Now, what I want to put across to our viewers and for this episode, let's talk about some gutsy stuff and no holes barred. Let's talk about some gutsy stuff. Starting with, firstly, just paint that picture of you're now the CEO of Australia's CEO Challenge. What is that company?
Sure. So, Scott, we're a not-for-profit organisation that works with workplaces to appropriately respond to employees that may be affected by domestic and family violence. They've been around for 17 years, but can I say it's only in the last 2.5 to 3 years that workplaces have really started to engage and understand how big this issue is and their focus on wanting to help and do something.
You're a national organisation. I know that you're travelling all around Australia and perhaps internationally very soon. What are you doing, or where are you travelling, and who are you dealing with?
Absolutely, Scott. We absolutely are national. And we're working with government, across government sectors. We're working with the private sector predominantly. We've got doing some great work in our male-dominated industries like Rio Tinto. We're currently been working with Unity Water here in Caboolture, who are absolutely at the forefront of tackling this issue. Education, awareness and engagement with community.
Excellent. A bit of a snapshot of who you are and where you're from now, but let's move on to something a bit more serious. As of last Thursday, there was reports in the media 8 ladies had died at the hand of domestic and family violence within a 10-day period nationally. Can you elaborate on what we've heard in the media?
Well, it's absolutely true. It is so disheartening that women, children and men are losing their lives in Australia. But to see in a 10-day period 8 women lose their lives in such an awful way by someone who was supposed to love them. It is a national outcry. It is our silent epidemic. And it is going to take a community together to tackle this issue. I like to say when I do my training sessions, we've got to start getting comfortable with the uncomfortable conversation about domestic and family violence. We've got to start normalising that conversation and saying, you know what, we've had enough. We actually need to start doing something.
In the media, we see campaigns of the government, not now, not ever. It ain't weak to speak. There's numerous associations and hashtags and calls for action. Where are you seeing changes, or where are you seeing the movement towards hopefully a safer place?
Well, because we predominantly work in workplaces, I have to say I am seeing that shift happen and at a growing rate. So as I said, 2 to 3 years ago, we were barely getting a foot in the door to have a conversation with a CEO or a commitment from an organisation to do something. If you looked at my training calendar right now, we are absolutely booked up. The shift is people are standing up and taking action, not just talking about it.
Yep. You mentioned Uni Water, a local company for our region. They're being a champion of change, as we say. Tell us a few things that they're doing to support their staff.
Absolutely. So they've run education and awareness raising sessions about the issue. And the framework that we use is recognise what is domestic and family violence. How would you respond if someone told you that it was happening to them? And the key component for us is, where are these referral services? Where do I get help? Where is the help in the community? And Unity Water, by doing that, have started conversations, have started to spread the message. As well as that, they're actually giving back to the front line. So they've got partnerships with refuges, and they're really making an impact and making a difference.
Excellent. Jackie, it's a bit weird interviewing my wife and husband, but we'll keep rolling, and because we talk about this every day, every night.
Yeah.
It's a passion of yours, and our viewers may know from previous filming, you are a survivor of violence, and you're really making a change and have purpose, which is great. Let's sort of spin a little bit. I know we could talk all day about the tragedy and the deaths and so forth that are occurring, but how about we change the conversation? We talk about healthy relationships, and if there was a man, woman, married, whatever it might be, or even same-sex families, we talk about healthy relationships, and maybe people go throughout their life not knowing what a healthy relationship is. Do you want to sort of start that conversation? Yep.
Absolutely, and I can certainly make comparisons. So when I was in my previous relationship, which was unhealthy, there was signs and behaviours that were happening where this person was trying to control everything that I did. So controlling my friends, who I saw, where I went, what I wore, my money, and I didn't really have a choice, and I wasn't having a say, which wasn't healthy. So now that I'm in a great healthy relationship, and we do disagree sometimes, and things will happen as normal couples or couples would experience, there's a balance in our relationship around respect. And the baseline of that is that. And then we have choices, we're allowed to choose, we interact respectfully, and that becomes a healthy relationship. So in our training, we say that an unhealthy relationship is where one person is having power and control over the other. And I use my hands like this because this person is saying and doing and controlling everything, and this person isn't having a say. So, and that's really putting it simply. Our relationship is like this.
Yeah. And yes, we're like any married couple. I'm sure we have some disputes or debates or differences of opinions, but I think it gets back to that level of respect that you're entitled to your view, I'm entitled to mine. We have a happy medium. I maybe look after the finances in our family because that's maybe my background and forte. You do other things, but I think equally it's a healthy relationship that we do respect each other, and that's where the good times roll, I guess.
And that's what we want to see more of is education, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is some people actually don't know what domestic and family violence is and what it constitutes, and haven't known what a healthy relationship is, and that's okay. And I would challenge you and put out a call to action today, Scott, to say, get educated, research, have a look. It certainly has helped reduce judgment and open up avenues to empathise with those who are really doing it tough in our community.
We are going to have some links after the video, a link primarily to DV Connect, which is the Queensland-based service. Now there's a women's line, men's line. Again, we're not discriminatory. Violence affects everyone, men, women, children, the whole external family, I guess. A lot of people are impacted by this epidemic in our community. So would you suggest we'll have those links for DV Connect?
Sure.
Is there anything else you'd sort of say or recommend if a friend, or if I knew a friend was maybe in a violent relationship or in a controlling relationship, what would I do?
It's all about safety, and you need to be mindful of your own safety, but it doesn't stop you from asking someone if they're okay. And listening. Sometimes we think we have to jump in and save people and need to know everything and have all the advice. In fact, you don't. A listening ear can really be a draw card to then seeking further support because someone isn't judging you.
Jackie Lackman, CEO, Australia's CEO Challenge, doing some great work around our country in the fight against domestic and family violence. Thanks for your time, and
Thanks for having me.
and I certainly appreciate that we're in a healthy relationship.
Me too.